Hi guys, I got to tell you the wacky avoidant lie story about ice skating. You'll love this one, okay? So I was with the avoidant for a while. She had three kids, right? The one kid showed some promise in ice skating. And I've told you guys, when it comes to kids and activities, anything on ice is very expensive. So literally all of the resources that this woman had so her one daughter could ice skate. The other kids couldn't afford to go to summer camp. They would just be frequently hanging in the house. Like they didn't go on vacation. The only time they went on trips is when the one daughter had ice skating events in different cities. That's the only trip they went on. It was so bad. My ex-wife bought one of her kids a sports bag for basketball because that's all the kid wanted and nobody could afford or wanted to give it to her. My ex-wife bought the avoidant daughter a bag for sports because it was a whole debacle. So, this person would tell me they would get a bill from this ice skating coach. And that, like, let's say the bill was like $175. This avoidant was like, "Hey, my daughter is so awesome at ice skating that the ice skating coach like lets me pay $50 and like calls it like she's that awesome." In my head, like being on the money side of things, I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, this again doesn't make any sense. Like the way that like when you send somebody an invoice like on QuickBooks, right? If I send you an invoice for $100 and you pay me $50 towards that invoice, that invoice is going to show a balance. And if you keep doing that on invoices, it's going to snowball and snowball and snowball. So, a couple months into this relationship, I'm sorry, 4 months into this relationship, she decides that she's dissatisfied with this coach. This coach was mean to her daughter. Coach was a scammer. Like he tried to sue like Olympic ice skating because he said his coach molested him. That got dismissed. Like his wife like tried to set up a 9/11 charity and like set up the charity, got tax exempt. They caught for fraud, lost the tax exempt status. It's like them and Scientology are like the two things I've ever heard losing their tax exempt status. Like you got to be really, really bad about this. So Avoidant was dissatisfied with this ice skating coach, and she decided, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. So she tells the coach that she's leaving. All of a sudden, she's presented with a bill. I shouldn't even say a bill, a statement that she owed $5,000. That's right, $5,000. And I like when she told me this, I'm like, what business lets you run up a bill for that amount of money and doesn't let you know, like, hey, you owe me all this money. You got to pay this money, otherwise we're done. I learned ice skating and dance. Ice skating and dance will let you run up bills and then eventually tell you like you owe some ginormous amount of money. Anywho, we got this email. We were at the movies. I think we were seeing La La Land. And in the movie, she gets this email, starts hysterically crying. I have no money. How am I going to pay this? Yada, yada, yada. And then she's like, you know what? I'm not paying it. I'm like, that doesn't sound like something you can do. What she didn't realize is that this particular ice skating coach ran a pretty big ice skating facility where I lived, right? And all of the ice skating coaches in the area had to go through him to get ice time for their other clients. So if those other coaches touched the avoidance daughter, they would not get ice time at this big ice. So she was nuclear. Plus, they're like, wait a minute, you ran a $5,000 bill up over there. Like, what makes you think you're not going to run a $5,000 bill up over here? So I figured, like, okay, you guys being the avoidant and her ex-husband need to sit this coach down and they need to tell them, like, hey, like, let's work something out. Like, what can we do? Yada, yada, yada. She's like, my ex-husband won't get involved. because he does not believe in ice skating. He believes if he starts taking these meetings, that he'll owe me money. Now, the great thing about divorce is you can agree and disagree on expenses that you're willing to pay for your children. Like you have like food, shelter, stuff like that. Like you got to pay, but like you can't have one parent say like, "Hey, I'm gonna go buy my kid a pony. You need to go halvesies." You can't do that. But the avoidant in her cartoon ass mind thought, and she quoted me on this, that she talked to a lawyer, and the lawyer said that if her daughter reached Olympic level skating, that the ex-husband would be compelled by law to pay. And I talked to some lawyer friends. They're like, none of that is a thing. Not even close to it. So 4 months in, she asks me to come to this meeting, and I agree. I was stupid. This was not my place. I should not have been in this meeting. So I we do a Zoom in a restaurant, and so it's me and the avoidant, and it's the ice skating coach and his wife who defrauded the 9/11 charity. And I'm just sitting there like, I work in accounting. So all I was able to bring to the table, it's like, look, like you're adding this stuff, like you're adding this hotel charge to your bill. Like you guys went to a competition. You said that it cost this amount for the hotel. Where's the receipt? And they're like, what? I'm like, you're saying it cost me $350.67 for you to spend the night for this hotel. Show me a receipt from the hotel that matches that number. Turns out this guy was running this scam where, like, let's say he had like 5 to 10 people going on that trip. He charged everybody the full price of the hotel. So he actually made money on the hotel room itself. It was a racket. It was a racket. So I started bringing up questions like that. And it's like, you keep signing this person up, the avoidant up, and her daughter up for different packages. Like, show me, like, she was on bronze package. Now she's on silver package. Like, show me where she agreed to sign up for that package. And he told me, back in my day, we used to just bill the clients and they would just pay whatever. And I'm like, that's weird. Like, you can't just sign me up for things. But again, I don't know what this avoidant if she did sign up for that stuff. So the course of me being a pain in the ass, two things happened. One, I got that bill down for her from $5,000 to $2,300. And after me being a pain in the ass, that ice skating instructor now charges in advance for the people who are in his class. Like you give him like $1,500 up front. He calls it hotel fees. So in a way, I helped him out too because he's getting all of his hotel money up front. So all part of this scam. The avoidance just crying. I don't have the money. Yada yada yada. She's gonna be. It was all part of the scam. My dumb ass ended up paying this bill. All right, because I was a sap at a weird point in my life, and I fell victim to a pretty girl crying. Okay, turns out like every little bit of money that this woman was getting for child support was going to like one of the three kids ice skating. Like when she was taking money off of my credit card, big chunks of that were for this one kid to go ice skating. I kid you not, for what she spent just on the ice skating coach. Now you have to understand something. Ice skating coach will run you about a good $400 to $500 a week. A week. I could put both of my sons in travel soccer for each of them for 2 years. For what this person paid for 1 month. 1 month of the ice skating coaches. Never mind the ice ballet, any of that stuff. So I realized right then and there too that wow, I would be offsetting any cost. Like her thing was like, I'm just going to pay for this girl uh, ice skating. Like that's all of my money is going for one kid to do one activity. Meanwhile, like I was to offset all of the other costs, like vacation, food, all that stuff. Hell, I even paid for all the gas in the house. So I just wonder if anybody has any funny stories like this. Like it was just one of those, like it's a red flag that I missed. And I'm embarrassed that I fell victim to such a silly scam, but they catch you in the weird time in your life, and they're very good at what they do lying wise. Let me know. Follow from follow for more cool stuff at the store.